Blog Talk Radio.
Behold, how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. This is the 90 Degree Show, brought to you by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you today. Today is September 2nd. We welcome September 2012, 3 o'clock on the West Coast, 6 o'clock on the East Coast. We bring in Chris Jones today to help decide what battles we will cover this year on the Marching Podcast, and we need your help. Starting this fall, we will have discussions on the battles of the bands and try to paint the picture of the event for the listener who was not there, because also we also want to give the people that were there at the game a chance to give their 2 cents. We would like to hear your opinion today at 718-664-6025, at 718-664-6025. You can email the show, marchingpodcast@gmail.com, or tweet us at marchingpodcast. Please let us know what games you want to hear about or what games you will be going to so that we will know where to point our radar, so to speak. We're still waiting on Chris Jones to call in. I'm sure he'll be on there soon. But we'll go ahead and start the show today. College football is definitely here. This past Thursday kicked off everything, and yesterday was the full slate of games. I watched as much of every game that I could. I was on Twitter following HBCU Digest. He has a college pick'em, so to speak, and he's following. Everybody is pretty much following the crazy hysteria that football has taken over the country with, and everyone's excited, so I am definitely one of those people. I think this is Chris calling in here now.
It's me, man. What's up?
Okay. Well,
what's up? Hey, dog, it's football season, baby.
Yeah, Chris Jones, that's what I was just talking about. You know, it's football season. Everybody is all excited. Right quick, how much football have you checked out so far, Chris Jones?
Man, I checked out so much football, man. It don't make no sense. But, you know, I ain't here to check out just the football. I'm here to check out the bands, baby. You know that.
Right. Of course, of course. I know Chris Jones knows that.
You know that, baby.
You know, so I checked out some football. One thing I just want to ask you about, we cannot go into it, but it may be something we may have a discussion about in future shows. Did you see the Savannah State score?
What, it was the 84-0?
Yeah, brother.
OMG.
Yeah.
You know, it's so crazy, man. I'm just gonna hit a quick synopsis of what you just said right there.
Please, just make it quick.
Man, right. Back in the day when my dad was in school in the '60s, you know, segregation, right?
Right.
All the black college students, all the students that's going to these immaculate schools would be going to HBCUs. Man, my dad told me when he was in college at South Carolina State, there were 15 people put in the pros from that one school.
Right.
And I'm not talking about just your regular. I'm talking about Donnie Shell, Mel Blunt, Bonnie Bussey. I'm talking about guys of that caliber. You know, not saying that, you know, segregation is bad. Segregation is not bad, and it's good that I'm glad that the black college, that the black students are getting out there to the other schools. But yet and still, I think we are still neglecting, honestly, our black colleges.
Yeah, and that's definitely something we could get into more. I know, you know, I thought about, you know, like Eddie Robinson, you know,
Correct.
and how he was the coach at Grambling and how they were dominant at just like all the names that you name, your former Cam Newtons, your former Trent Richardsons.
Right.
But it's definitely something that's on the table where it's like we have the opportunity to go wherever we want, but now where's the support to where it all came from? 718-664-6025, 718-664-6025.
Hit us up.
Give us a call. Let us know what you would like to see. Moving away from that, I searched the internet for videos to listen and try to find some bands. I know, and Eric Adams posted on, Facebook that Jackson State yesterday. So I actually saw them, and the MEAC SWAC Challenge was on ESPN today.
Right,
did you get a chance to see any videos? I know we saw the MEAC SWAC Challenge.
I did see some snippets of it. I did see some stuff on YouTube about the MEAC SWAC Challenge, and I was really impressed with. Always impressed with Bethune-Cookman, and honestly, I was impressed with the sound. Well, the middle brass of Alabama State. You know, usually they're known for their tubas. But the middle brass, the trombones were bringing it, bro.
Oh,
they were bringing the A game. I'm not lying. I was impressed. The B-tones, F-horns, they're a little slim. They were all right. But, you know, in the SWAC, you know, that's one thing that we're known for in the SWAC is having that F-horn, that screaming F-horn, that sound that just radiates against all stadiums. You know, that's the thing, man. So, Joe, I went through, looked at a couple of schools and whatnot. You know, there were a lot of games this weekend. There were a lot of games. But a lot of the games were non-conference games. Like we had South Carolina State against GA, was GA State. We had Edward Waters against Lane College, which are two HBCUs. We had Miles College against Concordia. We had Stillman against Central State. And did you know Central State is joining the SEAC?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that somewhere.
We had Benedict against VUU. We had Elizabeth City against Newberry, and Shawan against Livingstone. Now, you know, we had a lot of mixed schools right there, but all in all, I saw some good stuff, and I saw some bad stuff too. So I'm gonna hit it up to you.
I appreciate it. 718-664-6025. 664-6025. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show, brought to you by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Thanks for listening. I saw a little bit of the drill for Jackson State. They look pretty good as far as, you know, being clean. Difference in it's new for Dial Taylor this year. Definitely attention to detail in the drill. The MEAC SWAC Challenge, like you said, somebody, and I don't know, well, okay, I did recognize Vice Versa. Bethune played Vice Versa, and that always sounds good. Bethune sounds good. And definitely Alabama State was cranking neck because, you know, they have a really good version, and they sounded good. Yes, that low brass and that middle brass. But I had to, right quick, there was somebody in the third quarter, 5 minutes, 47 seconds in, there was like a play that had to be like double reviewed, and the one band was just raining out something. It was so crazy, but the no one could understand what the referee was saying, what the call was, and even some of the fans were taken back because the band was so loud. And I mean, it was headphones. It was somebody, I don't know which specifically who it was, but it was really good to see and hear that on ESPN.
Correct, it really was. I know exactly what you're talking about too.
Yeah, and we could actually go into
calling a flag, right?
Yeah, it was a flag, and of course, you know, bands have an opportunity to play when no one's playing, so they were trying to get the play together, and I know both bands were playing, and I think it was right before Bethune-Cookman was about to take the lead, because that momentum definitely carried them to the win. Spoiler alert for all the people who are listening and don't know. It was just a really good game. I wish we could go into it more, but we're already 10 minutes in the show, and we really got to get into what we're going to talk about. Yeah, we really do, because I know you and I talked on the phone a little bit about how the game was, the halftime show was showed.
Yeah.
It was really... Enlighten right quick us about that.
So, man, I'm going to tell you like this, Joe. Joe, we are being neglected as a performance mentality, as a performance entity. We have all these cats, these kids are going out there doing practice and working hard. Why can't we show, instead of showing these old bogus commercials, bogus scores, bogus commentating, why can't we show the band?
Right. I know that they weren't
even in the traditional. You got the Big Ten, the MAC, the ACC. Why can't they show the bands? People want to see. It's another entity to football.
To show, to highlight. Right. We definitely have. We actually have a call, but we definitely want to highlight. We have someone from the 410 area code. Please go ahead and give us your name and where you're calling from. Your question today.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Jared Carter. I'm calling from Baltimore with the HBCU Digest. How y'all doing?
All right, Jared Carter.
Man, what's up, man?
All right, man. What's going on?
Nothing much, man. I love this show. First thing, you guys were talking about why don't they show the bands, and it's something I think is a missed aspect of the football game culture, especially for black colleges. But there's a business side to it, and it's difficult to make the proposition for the networks to say, all right, well, we'll finance you skipping the ability to sell spots so you can show the band. I mean, I've always said, why don't they show more of it at the Bayou Classic?
Right.
And the reality of it is you have to show, that's valuable commercial time. So why would you pass that up? What I would say, or what I would ask you guys as folks who have participated in band, is there something missing for you guys personally when you go back and look at the recording or look at the DVR and it's not heavily featured on television? I know that there's a lot to be received as a musician from how the crowd reacts, but is there something missing for it when you don't get a chance to really see a full show or a full performance on TV?
Man, it's a lot missing. I'm missing the pageantry. I'm missing the performance. I'm missing the showmanship. And then on top of that, Jerry, I just have to add that you if you've been a bandsman, you know how hard it is to put a show together. You know what dedication it takes. Why can't we show these kids and put a highlight on these kids that have worked so hard and so diligently? Why is there not just a channel, just like back in the day? Now, and I know you. How old are you, Jerry?
I'm 31.
Okay, so you watched BET back in 88, 89, 91,
right,
all those
right.
years? They used to show the whole halftime.
Right.
They used to show the whole halftime, and I loved it. It gave me inspiration when I was in high school. In '88, it gave me inspiration to go to college. It gave me inspiration to be in a HBCU band. It gave me inspiration and energy to say, hey, that looks great to me. Let me try this at my high school. Let me add this little ambiance to my high school band. Maybe we can even be better. I mean, it's expounding the level of performance. And that's what we're lacking on. I know we have to put the businesses out there. I know we have to put the commercials out there for, Aflac. We got to do all that stuff. We got to do that. But
I tell you, Chris Jones,
why can't those schools? Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead. I'm not even going to
piggyback on what Chris Jones was saying, and as far as the dedication and inspiring youth across the country, it's still the excitement. It's still the getting the hair on the back of your neck growing across to all colors. I think that is what is not being is not what's being presented in the game. I tell you the main thing that I noticed, Jared. They do not show the games from up high, where they show a lot of shots of kids up close. And of course, they want to give some kids a chance to be on television. I understand that, but that should be definitely minor to the band and teamwork, dedication to precision. When you show it from back up top, not only do you see the entire drill and do you see how good the actual performance is, but you actually get the full version of the sound. And that's what's missing, because when you get up close, you notice sometimes maybe when a kid is maybe looking over to the side, or if a kid drops his mouthpiece, or
like the goddamn Alabama State, huh?
or if a kid is even louder than someone else. So all those microphones may pick up one individual trumpet player, and it will throw off the actual sound experience from what you're actually seeing on television. So sometimes even the sound, they sound janky, because it's like you're hearing one person and you're hearing this person and you're hearing this microphone, and instead of showing the actual drill from up top and getting the full sound, you take away from the experience a little bit. So I think that's, to me, what's missing in addition to the dedication that Chris Jones was talking about. 718-664-6025. You're on the 90 Degree Show, brought to you by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate you calling in, Jared. If there's anything else that you want to say on the way out before we go on with the actual selection.
Oh, no, man. You're just doing a great job, adding another element to HBCU band culture. And one that can get people really involved. And I'm happy, and I'm happy that we have that kind of outlet coming forward for more people to have a positive perspective and honest discussion about black colleges. Keep up the good work, bro.
Hey, Jerry, before you go anywhere, where you march at, man?
No, I haven't been in a band. I'm just I'm just a big
just
fan.
You just a lover of the band, huh?
In a show like this where you get to hear inside perspectives about that, because often, the student musicians that are participating, you hear from them musically. You don't really hear, their individual perspectives about what it's like to put work in, the training, the long hours, and the intricacies about formation and performance. So it's something I really enjoy listening to, and I hope I can, help spread the word about what Joe is doing, because it's really exceptional.
Spread it, brother.
I appreciate it, Jared. I appreciate the call, man. Let's see here. We're going to move a little bit more. We definitely want to say some of the games or highlight some of the potential matchups we want to cover. Looks like we have another call, and see if we can squeeze it in here. We have a call from the 610, the area code. Go ahead, caller. I know we'll have to maybe cut you short, but go ahead and give us your name and where you're calling from today.
This is Pepe in Jackson.
What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, brother?
It's everything is fine here. Listen, we lost the game last night to Mississippi State, 56-9, but I understand that the band performed outstandingly well. It was well received by the Mississippi State fan and the Jackson State fan who were there.
And the cowbells that came out. I just got to ask.
Well, we won't come in on the game. We just move on. Listen, I was talking to a friend a few minutes ago from Chattanooga, and he was in school with me back in the 60s, and he said that since then he has not heard any rendition of the national anthem played like Jackson State. And he was wondering if there is some recording out there that we can buy, that we can purchase, or we can record. So if you guys know of any recording
of the national anthem,
about it by the Jackson State University band.
You know something? That is, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. We'll go ahead and get on that, Pepe. We really appreciate the call today. Thanks for listening. Pepe, that's outstanding. Ain't too many Pepes you think coming from Jackson, but we really appreciate Pepe's call. Right quick, let's get into this, Chris Jones, because we got like under 10 minutes. We wanted to talk about, we want to give awards. We wanted to play a couple games maybe. Yeah. And and then we'll try to get into these games. Maybe let's touch on them right quick. The awards. I was thinking, and we'll make them. We'll say who won or lost. Let's try to make a decision about you and I, Maurice, whoever we have a panel put together yet. But we'll try to decide on who won or lost. What do you think about that? That's cool. Like who took an L?
Well, hey, who took an L? Stankin' or crankin', baby? Stankin' or crankin'. Were you stankin' or were you crankin'? That's what
definitely stankin' or crankin'. I was thinking that would be like a game, like stankin' or crankin', like or either like C or no. You know what I'm saying? What else? What else are the games I was thinking? Or what were they doing? You know, I was definitely thinking those were games where we could actually highlight maybe one particular thing, like let's say Valley came out with purple capes. We can say what were they doing? You know what I'm saying? Let's say
they were
or either like you say, like they try. Let's say that Virginia State tried to play, I don't know, Phantom of the Opera. Was it cranking or was it stankin'? Right. I think that would be really cool. That would be crunk. So what other? The games, because I know we'll have to fit it all in 30 minutes, but I was trying to think what other games.
Well, you know, I got the games down. You know, I must just start with the top one, Jackson State against Mississippi State, and I watched Mississippi State too. Have you noticed? Now I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there. I gotta put it out there, Joe. Mississippi State and all these these big Division I schools are trying to do the black thing.
Yeah.
OMG, they are. Did you see the symbols up in the stands trying to rock? With
I did.
In symbols.
I think that
also. We do 20s.
I think that also I noticed on the tape that a lot of them were in the stands watching the halftime show as well. Mm-hmm. I noticed that there were not a lot of people leaving to go to the bathroom, per se, as usual.
They wouldn't leave.
Right. I think that, of course, Mississippi State, I'm sure that they respect Jackson State.
Right.
718-664-6025. 718-664-6025. This is a 90-degree show. This is the 2012 battle preview. We're going to try to get into some of these battles. We decided crankin' or stankin', definitely. We'll try to hear some of the songs that were played at the game from the footage we have, and we'll be like, oh yeah, they played Frankie Beverly. Southern played Frankie Beverly, or they played Can You Feel It? That was crankin'. You know what I'm saying? Just an example. These hypotheticals.
Correct.
Go ahead, Christian.
I was, I'm just thinking. You know what I'm saying? We have all these schools that played this week. Like I said, it was a lot of mixed divisional games, but. Going back to that Jackson State Mississippi State game, I have to say Jackson State was cranking, and I have to say Mississippi State, you're stankin'.
Yeah, I didn't get to see like footage of the game at all. It was on Fox Sports West way out here on the West Coast, and of course it was an SEC broadcast, so Jackson State was like the enemy. You know what I'm saying?
Null and void. They didn't even have a green card
they didn't
in the game.
look. Yeah, so. Okay, so we got the games cranking and stankin'. What were they thinking? I was going to think about we give out some awards, maybe best sound, maybe an overall award, who was the best in the stands, who was the best on the field, who had the better halftime show.
Well,
we could have
I saw Alcorn and Grambling. Alcorn has made a come up. And they are cranking.
That's
I'm not
outstanding.
going to play with you. I'm not going to play with it. Alcorn is cranking. Grambling is stinking. Grambling is not the Grambling of old. They need to go back to the Coca-Cola commercials and do it again. Prairie View. I saw Prairie View in Texas Southern. Hey, Prairie View, cranking. Texas Southern, cranking. I'm not going to jive with you. Those two bands have always been, they're dark horses in the SWAC, but hey, they are both awesome. Now, I know I got to give my Stan Award to Texas Southern for the sound that they have, man. For the size that they are, man, they are the little, small band with the great, awesome, big sound.
That's cool, man. We'll have best sound, louder volume, most house, who was better marching. I know Bethune-Cookman looked good marching today.
Yes, indeed. Did you see the 90s?
If we ever get to see some section battles, or if anyone gets some of the section battles on tape, we'll try to decide some of those. 718-664-6025. This is the 90 Degree Show brought to you by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Thanks for listening. Let's finally get into some of these games because we don't have so much time left. I'm going to read the games. I went to all the conference websites, the CIAA, MEAC, SEAC, and the SWAC, and wrote down based on prestige. I know, Chris Jones, you were saying that you have a good grasp of what bands are looking like right now. So we'll definitely try to see what smaller bands, not based on prestige, will have a good battle and will have a good turnout about. October 6th in the MEAC, and of course I base this on prestige. We have BCC, which we already know sounds good, and North Carolina A&T. That may be a good game. The CIAA will be Winston-Salem State versus Johnson C. Smith. Winston-Salem State is, of course, directed with Dr. Michael Magruder, who was the band director when we were at Jackson State.
Correct, and he has brought that energy to Winston-Salem.
He really has. SEAC will have Tuskegee versus Morehouse. We'll definitely try to make sure we try to get some tape and see how these bands did this past weekend. I'm sure people will be uploading them this week. October 13th, which will be the following week, I did not put a SWAC conference game on here because our very first game, which will be, our very first recap show, which will be September 23rd, will be the Jackson State Southern game. Of course, one of the greatest rivalries
of all
time. The Boombox Classic. Please get crunk. And it's not only a great band classic, but it's always a good football matchup. So that'll definitely be.
The tailgate is off the chain. The neck bones and the ribs. All right.
All of that will be off the chain. So we don't want to overbias to the SWAC. So October 13th. We have the MEAC, which will be the Battle of the Bay, Hampton and Norfolk. Norfolk, of course, is directed with Mr. Paul Adams, who was the director at our band. 90 seconds. We may have to have a part 2 of this show, but I'm going to try to read these off really fast. We're going to highlight.
Hit them off, Joe. Hit them off.
SEAC, Miles versus Kentucky State. The CIAA, Bowie State versus Virginia State.
Virginia State.
October 27th, we're going to try to pick from the SWAC, Alabama State versus Alabama A&M, the Magic City Classic. The MEAC will be Bethune-Cookman, North Carolina Central. The SEAC will be Benedict versus Albany State, CIAA Shaw versus Winston-Salem. November 3rd, the SWAC, Texas Southern, Arkansas Pine Bluff, MEAC, Howard versus Hampton.
That's going to be a battle.
SEAC, Fort Valley State versus Albany State, CIAA Virginia State versus Virginia Union. And then November 10th, we're going to have Valley versus Prairie View in the SWAC, the MEAC, North Carolina A&T versus South Carolina A&T, and then the SEAC
South Carolina
Championship.
State. You're talking about South Carolina State, huh?
South Carolina State, North Carolina A&T in the mix. It's always a rigged game. So we're going to try to pick from those games. We'll try to get from your feedback. We're going to get out of here as best as we can. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Chris.
Hey, look, we need to get people to call in. You need to call in.
We'll do that. We'll build the show. Thanks for calling. We'll try to get it later. The eye is a better pupil and more willing than the ear. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. Thanks, and see you next time.
Love the band, baby. Love.